The Skyline Valley expansion has brought a host of new rewards from outfits, camp items and more, but alongside it, it's also introduced some unique and interesting new legendary weapons that you can pick up. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the V63 Olga, the unique laser rifle which is obtainable as a potential reward from the world boss event Neurological Warfare, which can be triggered from dropping a nuke on the Skyline Valley region. But before we get into testing the weapon and seeing what it's capable of, let's take a look at the mods for the weapon and the build that I feel that will really complement this weapon. Taking a look at the mods for the weapon, we have the following. Firstly, I've gone with the tuned beta wave tuner, so we gain plus 20% to our reload speed and plus 20% ammo capacity, because compared to the other receivers available for the weapon, which does share the same mod options as the standard laser rifle, the likes of our fire rate, ammo capacity and range does drop off by a bit with every other mod. And because laser and energy weapons are naturally action point heavy, we want to try and retain as much AP as we can, because as surprising as this might sound, we will be using this weapon in VATS, even though the legendary effects don't really complement the use of VATS, but we'll get into that a little bit further when we check out the build. Next, we have the aligned automatic barrel, because firstly we're going to be running a commando build with this weapon, and out of all the mods available for it, the aligned automatic barrel is definitely the best in my own opinion. Now, this weapon does come with the stabilized stock when you eventually get it, but I've swapped that out with the forceful stock to help increase our AP cost, and it also gives us plus 4 to stability, minus 22% recoil, the plus 25% melee damage we don't really care about, but it does also give us plus 25% sighted accuracy, which will help complement that plus 25% damage while aiming legendary effect. Moving on, we have the reflex side, because out of all the scopes, the reflex is the best for the AP cost and aim speed plus sighted accuracy. And finally, we have the beam focuser. To be honest, the muzzle will really come down to personal preference, so this isn't really something that I'm going to say that the beam focuser is the best or the gyro is the best. Really, it just comes down to preference. The only thing I will say is that your fire rate will be reduced with the beam splitter and your range will be reduced with the gyro muzzle, but again, personal preference. Lastly, the legendary effects the weapon comes with is the anti-armor effect, so plus 50% armor penetration, plus 25% damage while aiming, and plus 15% reload speed. Before we check out the build and the perks, this is what your special stats will look like, so if you'd like to pause the video here so you can get an overview, you can go ahead and do so. With the build, we've gone with a low health commando build, and as previously stated, an energy rifle build to try and optimize action point cost and also damage reduction, because as we've mentioned, energy rifles in general are very action point heavy. Now, I want to quickly note that this build is aimed towards endgame players, as we do have all of the special stat legendary perk cards maxed out, so max rank of luck, strength, agility, intelligence, charisma and endurance. But for you beginner to mid-game players, you can copy this build as much as possible with the following perks that we'll be focusing on. As mentioned, we want to try and mitigate as much incoming damage, so we have rank 2 of blocker, so you take 30% less damage from your opponent's melee attacks. As this is a commando build, we have max rank of all of the commando perk cards for that 60% damage increase to automatic weapons. Rank 3 of time killers, that your rifles and pistols ignore 36% armor and have a 9% chance to stagger. And we also have 1 rank of concentrated fire, so that VATS now target limbs. And yes, we will be using this weapon in VATS, but don't worry, I'll explain how we're going to mitigate that heavy AP cost in just a few moments. Moving on, we have max rank of Ironclad for plus 50 increase to damage and energy resistance, max rank of Lifegiver for plus 45 increase to our health, rank 1 of Radicool so that our strength is increased the greater our rads, and max rank of Fireproof so you take 45% less damage from explosions and flame attacks, an excellent card to have to mitigate Scorch Beast Screech attack damage. We also have max rank of Suppressor so that we can reduce our target's damage output by 30% for 2 seconds after you attack, and max rank of Tenderizer so you make your target receive 10% more damage for 10 seconds after you attack. Moving into the intelligence category, we have max rank of Nerd Rage, because as stated, we're running a low health build, so while below 20% health we gain 40 damage resistance, 20% increased damage and 15% extra AP regen. Because we're running an energy weapon build, we have max rank of batteries included, so that our energy weapon ammo weighs 90% less, but this can be swapped out or reduced by a rank or 2 depending on your weight management with your ammo, so realistically this is completely optional. And we also have max rank of all of the science perk cards for that 30% increased damage with energy weapons. Next, we have max rank of Action Boy so that our AP regenerates 45% faster. Obviously, we won't be utilizing sneak with this build, but for that initial sneak attack damage, we have rank 1 of Covert Operative, so your ranged sneak attacks deal 15% increased damage. As we're low health, we have 1 rank of Born Survivor, so while below 20% health, we'll automatically use a stim pack once every 20 seconds. And so that we can evade enemies and jump into sneak, we have rank 1 of Escape Artist, so we can sneak to lose enemies and running no longer affects stealth. We also have rank 2 of Gunfu, so that VATS swap targets on kill with a 10% and then plus 30% damage to our next 2 targets. Max rank of Adrenaline, so that we gain a max of 60% extra damage for 30 seconds per kill, and to help make ourselves a little bit more tanky, we have rank 2 of Evasive, so that each agility point adds plus 2 to our damage and energy resistance. We have max rank of Bloody Mess for an extra 15% bonus damage, max rank of Grim Reaper Sprint, so that you have a 35% chance to restore all action points with any kill in VATS, and to be honest, I much prefer using this compared to 4-leaf clover, better criticals, and so on, because as I mentioned, laser rifles are AP heavy, but with the combination of Action Boy and the Nerd Rage damage and AP bonus, you'll see that we won't have that much of an issue in VATS. We also have rank 1 of Serendipity, so while below 30% health, we gain a 15% chance to avoid damage, and we have max rank of Ricochet, so that we gain a 15% chance to deflect back some of our enemies' ranged damage. Moving on to the armor, we have a full set of Unyielding Secret Service armor, which will obviously give us a plus 3 boost to our special stats while at low health, but for a full list of legendary effects on each piece, I'll leave that in a pinned comment below. With the mutations, these are the mutations that I'm currently running with the build, but for a full list, I'll leave that in a pinned comment below, along with a link to my complete guide to mutations. Lastly, before we head out into the wasteland and fry as many enemies as possible, I definitely recommend getting your hands on the following food and drink buffs to help with this build. We have the likes of High Voltage Hefe, which improves energy damage by 15%, but it will decrease the condition cost by 15% for 5 minutes. Company Tea, so that we gain plus 20% AP regen for a period of 1 hour. There's that lovely slice of Birthday Cake, so that we gain plus 12 to our AP for 25 seconds, and for that added buff to damage, you can always chuck on an Energy Weapons Bobblehead, which will increase your energy gun damage by plus 20 for 1 hour. And as you can see, these will all stack upon each other, but I understand that some of these might be difficult to come by, but I'm just recommending these as an option. Now that we've covered the mods and the build for the weapon, let's go and test this laser rifle out on all the enemies that Appalachia has to offer. And there you have it, the Vault 63 Olga laser rifle. Let me know your thoughts in the comments on the weapon itself and the build showcase in today's video. If you did enjoy today's video and found that it helped, definitely consider giving the video a like and consider subscribing to the channel so you don't miss out on future videos. To our channel members and subscribers, thank you for your continued support and helping the channel to grow. If you're picking up anything over on the Bethesda Gear store and you'd like to support the channel, you can use my creator code BTBOS76 until August 17th to receive 20% off your entire purchase. Until next time, stay safe out there in the wasteland, welcome to Vault 93, and I'll catch you all in the next video.